Hello. In last class we studied up to neon, how to write the electronic configuration, orbital diagram, etc. Just rewind it. So, what is the atomic number of neon? 10, and its symbol is Ne. So, if the atomic number is 10, the number of protons will be 10, number of electrons will be 10, and the electronic configuration. Total, there are 10 electrons are there. Among those 10 electrons, first two electrons will go to the first shell, K shell. Then the remaining 8 electrons will go to the second shell, means L shell. So the electronic configuration will be 2, 8, and we studied how to draw the orbital diagram. Then after neon, the next element is sodium. Symbol of sodium is Na, capital N and small letter A. And the atomic number of sodium is 11. If the atomic number of sodium is 11, number of protons and number of electrons are also 11. So you can see that number of protons is 11, number of electrons are also 11. So how many electrons are there? 11. So total there are 11 electrons are there. Among those 11 electrons, 2 electrons will go to the first shell, means the K shell. So 2 electrons goes to the first shell. Then how many electrons are remaining? 9 electrons. These 9 electrons, is it possible to accommodate in the second shell, L shell? No. Why? Because we already studied that the L shell can accommodate, that means the second shell can accommodate maximum 8 electrons. So total 11 electrons are there. Among those, 2 electrons goes to the first shell. So how many electrons are remaining? 9 electrons. Among those 9 electrons, 8 electrons will goes to the second shell, means the L shell. Then if 8 electrons goes, how many electrons are remaining? Yeah, 9 minus 8, 1 electron. That 1 electron will goes to the M shell. That means third shell. So the electronic configuration of sodium is 281. Please don't write it as 29 because the second shell can accommodate maximum. Second shell can occupy maximum 8 electrons. So the remaining 1 electron will goes to the third shell. Okay. Okay, we studied up to sodium. The next element which we are going to study is magnesium. The symbol of magnesium is capital letter M and the small letter G, Mg. And atomic number of magnesium is 12. So if the atomic number is 12, means the number of protons and number of electrons are also 12. So we will get, so in magnesium how many electrons are there? 12 electrons. Among those 12 electrons, 2 electrons will go to the first shell. Okay, total 12 electrons. From these 12 electrons, 2 electrons will go to the first shell, K shell. Then how many electrons are remaining? 12 minus 2, 10 electrons. From these 10 electrons, 8 electrons will go to the second shell. Why these all 10 electrons cannot go? Yeah, already we studied, because the second shell can accommodate maximum 8 electrons. So among these 8 electrons, from these 10 electrons, 8 electrons will go to the second shell. Then how many electrons are remaining? Yeah, 2 electrons. Those 2 electrons will go to the third shell. So we will get the electronic configuration as 2A2. 2 electrons are in first shell, 8 electrons are in the second shell, say 2 electrons are in the third shell. So you can see first shell 2 electrons, second shell how many? 8 electrons, third shell 2 electrons. Then after magnesium, Next element is aluminium. The symbol of aluminium we already studied, capital A and small letter L. The atomic number is 13, so the number of protons and number of electrons are also 13. Then the electronic configuration of aluminium is total there are 30 electrons. From these 13 electrons, 2 electrons will go to the first shell. So how many electrons are remaining? 11 electrons. From these 11 electrons, 8 electrons will go to the second shell. Then how many electrons are remaining? 3 electrons. These 3 electrons will go to the third shell. So we will get the electron configuration as 2, 8, 3. So 2 electrons are on the first shell, 8 electrons are in the second shell, and 3 electrons are in the third shell. So you can see first shell it contains 2 electrons. Then second shell contains 8 electrons. Third shell 1, 2, 3. So 3 electrons are in the third shell. Okay. So next one which we are going to study after aluminium, the next element is silicon. The symbol of silicon is capital letter S and small letter I, Si. And the atomic number of silicon is 14. So obviously the number of protons is also 14. Number of electrons are also 14. So how many electrons are there? 14. Among these 14 electrons, 2 electrons will go to the first shell. Then how many electrons are remaining? 12 minus 2, 12. Sorry, 14 minus 2, 12 electrons. From these 12 electrons, 8 electrons will go to the second shell. Why these 12 electrons cannot go? Because the second shell can accommodate maximum 8 electrons. So from these 12 electrons, 8 electrons will go to the second shell. Then how many electrons are remaining? 4 electrons. Those 4 electrons will go to the fourth shell. So we will get the electronic configuration as 2, 8, 4. You can see first shell 2 electrons, second shell 8 electrons, and on the third shell 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 electrons. Okay. Then next one is phosphorus. The next element phosphorus is represented with the symbol capital P, capital letter P. And the atomic number of phosphorus is 15. Number of protons is also 15. Number of electrons is also 15. So there are total 15 electrons are there. From these 15 electrons, 2 electrons will go to the first shell. Then how many electrons are remaining? 15 minus 2, 13 electrons. From these 13 electrons, 8 electrons will go to the second shell, means L shell. Then how many electrons are remaining? 13 minus 8, 5. Those 5 electrons will go to the third shell. So we will get the electronic configuration as 2, 8, 5. Okay. So 2 electrons are in the first shell, 8 electrons are in the second shell, and 5 electrons are in the third shell. So you can see first shell 2 electrons, second shell 8 electrons, third shell 5 electrons. So what you want to do? You take one copy and write again and again it on your copy and learn it. Okay, thank you.